Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. We are retired New York City police detectives and 9/11 World Trade Center first responders. If you like all things true crime related from the police detective's perspective, you're in the right spot. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get all things DutyRon and Ed Wallace when we go live or upload another video. Today, I want to talk to you about a very concerning topic. The Kansas mom's affidavit, the criminal affidavit that led to the 4 arrests of these heinous perpetrators. Is Cora Twombly's daughter in danger? My answer to that is unequivocally yes. And I hope that she's receiving proper police protection at this time. She's a major, major part of this arrest affidavit, the probable cause affidavit. And I'm concerned. She's 16 years old and was in the middle of this whole murder plot that was going on and was asked to do lots of different things like cleaning up a car and so forth. Hey, before I get into it, I want to say thank you to you, the live viewers, the replay viewers, the Patreon supporters, the channel members, the folks who send cups of coffee on the Buy Me a Cups of Coffee app. You guys are what makes this a great place. The moderators are second to none, and I give thanks and praise to each and every one of you. And I thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm turning 60 tomorrow, 16 years young. Hey, age is just a number, right? That's what they say. So thank you for the birthday accolades on all things social media. One word, DutyRon. You guys are awesome. I appreciate that. Many, many thanks to all of you. And if I can't answer you while you're live and in the chat, just know that I do watch the replays and I do scan the chat from time to time. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Miss Alma, thank you for being here. That was my mom's name. God rest her soul, my mom. So thank you, Alma, for being here. Hi, Nancy. Hey, Karen. Good to see you from the UK. Thank you for joining. I see Cheryl F. and a whole bunch. Mom of 6 is here as well. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much. Dawn Marie, one of the best in the business. Thank you for being here, Dawn. I appreciate you. So yeah, let's jump right into this. And this is a couple of days old, this footage, but how many of you here feel like the topic that we're here to talk about, the complainant witness, they didn't name her. She's 16 years old. It's Cora Twombly's daughter. How many of you guys feel that she could be potentially in danger with these Gods Misfit folks and all the craziness that's gone on within this family and in that small town? I'm not saying there's some really probably great people in that town, but I'm just saying things don't seem right that are going on around there. And, you know, I'm going to play some videos of former attorneys that represented some of these perps, and Tiffany Adams in particular. Her former attorney praised her like she was some kind of good person and that she's like cattle ranch farmer or whatever kind of farmer he referred to her as. And like, they made her out to be like some high holy person. And look, as far as I see it, when I look at this arrest affidavit, she basically admitted, not in the affidavit, but admitted to law enforcement that she had everything to do with the murders of Veronica Butler. And, you know, I got to say, Veronica and Jilian, may they rest in peace. But this woman doesn't deserve to be put on the high horse here. That's for sure. So let's take a listen to this. And I want to just focus in on what this news reporter, Jason Berger, talks about here.
Yeah, that's right, guys. It could have. And according to these court documents, a young juvenile provided critical information before the arrests were made.
There's so many places to hide somebody out there. I very easily could have gone cold.
Amanda Newland Davis runs a nonprofit to track unsolved cases in Oklahoma. Like so many people in the state, she's followed the case of Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley. These 4 people arrested over the weekend in Cimarron and Texas counties.
It is a rural community that doesn't necessarily have the means to investigate crimes of this nature. So the fact that they called in the USVI pretty quickly certainly helped.
New court documents released Monday include details given to investigators by a juvenile family member of Cora and Cole Twombly, 2 of the suspects in the case. The documents say this family member, quote, was told to clean the interior of the Chevrolet pickup truck. They asked Cora what had happened and was told things did not go as planned, but they would not have to worry about her again.
It was pretty clear from the onset that this was going to be like an internal domestic situation, and it was. Because there was the battle happening with the custody.
The documents confirm Veronica was in a heated custody battle with her kid's grandmother, Tiffany Adams. The court documents say OSBI agents got a search warrant for Adams' phone on April 1st, just 2 days after the Bureau was requested by the Texas County Sheriff's Office. In this kind of case, Davis says timing is everything, especially with cell phone records.
You want somebody to have access to your cell phone data, just period, because if something wrong happens, I mean, the fact that my husband could get into our cell phone data and give the police those logins without having to get a warrant is huge.
The affidavit for Tiffany Adams says she bought prepaid phones in Guyman back in February. OSBI was able to confirm those phones were, at one point, at the area where Veronica Butler's car was found, at Highway 95 and Road L in Texas County. That was the last known location of Butler and Kelley.
I want to just say this. Look, many people have read the arrest affidavit. I have it linked here. I will go over some parts of it. But, you know, in that arrest affidavit, these four are sunk. I mean, there is not a lot of defense that they could come up with here. And they're going to get a defense attorney, and they're going to, I think 3 out of the 4 are going to hire private defense attorneys. And I think the only one, coincidentally, as we're talking about her daughter, the only one that said she couldn't afford an attorney was Cora Twombly. And so they're going to appoint an attorney from the courts. You know, the court's going to appoint an attorney for her. But 3 out of the 4 said that they're going to hire their own private attorneys. But, you know, when you look at this affidavit and you look at the probable cause and everything that's stated in there, it's an overwhelming, amount of information. And there's a lot of information that's not in this probable cause affidavit that's known to the investigators, like certain things of location of where these bodies were recovered from, what condition they were in. Was it gunshot wounds? Was it bludgeon? We have a recovered hammer at the location that was broke. We have inside the bag, the pocketbook of one of the victims was a 9mm, I believe, or they might not even have stated the caliber, but was a magazine to a weapon. And that weapon from Jilian was never recovered. Where did that weapon go? Was it used on them? Did they ditch it? I don't know. You know, a lot of this stuff is going to be forthcoming as we hear more about this case, as this case progresses.
The affidavit for Tiffany Adams says she bought prepaid phones in Guyman back in February. OSBI was able to confirm those phones were, at one point, at the area where Veronica Butler's car was found, at Highway 90.
And, you know, that's the thing here. Thank you for the super chat. Celise Rico sends in a $2 super chat. She says, Tiffany threatened a judge she'd take out a child. Yeah. You know, and here's the thing. This is what I'm saying is that, you know, how influential and how powerful are these people? I don't know. I would hope that law enforcement has some intel on them, but what could they do from jail? A lot of things can happen. A lot of communications happen from jail. And this 16-year-old complainant witness, they refer to as a CW, that's complaining witness. So the CW is 16 years old, which is Cora's daughter. I seriously hope that she's got 24-hour around-the-clock security, that somebody's watching her, because somebody's going to want to try to quiet or silence her, in my eyes. I mean, let me know what you think down below in the chat. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you would be worried about the 16-year-old complaining witness. Put a 2 if you think, oh, she's going to be okay. I just want to see where we're at with this. And if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm going to put a big old number 1 in the chat right now myself. DutyRon's entering a number 1. And that's coming from me when I was active and we had confidential informants and confidential sources. The big thing with the confidential informants, and listen, I solved many cases and locked up many bad people thanks to confidential informants. They were worried that they were going to get killed. If they were found out, if somebody found out that they gave information and they were cold-blooded killers, they knew that they would have a very high chance of getting killed. So this young girl, it's in black and white, and it's out there for anybody and everybody. There's Gods Misfit Child organization where they held these meetings at this location weekly, according to her in this affidavit. I don't know what these people are about. It's troubling to me. It's troubling. So let's take a little bit more and a listen. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff.
Road L in Texas County. That was the last known location of Butler and Kelley at the time they disappeared.
It used to be you'd be looking at a 50-mile radius because of how the towers are, but now they're locking that down into like very, very minimal spaces.
Now, these documents also allege that there were previous attempts by these suspects to kill Veronica Butler. All 4 of the suspects are facing murder charges.
So yeah, that's the crazy part, is that the attempts are going from February 13th up until the day, March 30th. It was known to this 16-year-old complaining witness because she states it in paper on the affidavit. It's in writing. Very, very troubling, folks. So I have a couple of more things here that I wanted to just share with you guys. You know, I watched the court proceeding, you know, not the actual inside court proceeding, but I watched these perpetrators being walked in. We did a live stream yesterday, and thank you to everybody who came in and who was watching yesterday. So all 4 of these mutts, as we refer to them here in New York, all 4 of these defendants, we call them mutts here, were paraded in one by one into the courthouse. And the media and spectators the media was in the front row, and it was a small courthouse, according to Brian Enton. And they put the families in the back because they knew that there was going to be a lot of temperatures. You know, the temperature was going to be high, and the tempers were going to be flaring in that courtroom. And sure enough, I read to you yesterday some really vulgar language that was being used by these victims' families, because they are they're outraged that over a custody battle, over custody of a child, they decided that it was a good idea to ambush this young mother, Veronica Butler. And I can't subscribe to that. I don't understand how they come up with that line of thinking, but that's what happened. And they set it up, and you read that affidavit, it's arguably so that they purposely stated to the regular person who was the custodian or guardian of supervising this custody exchange. They told, I feel, and I didn't say this in the affidavit, but I have a strong feeling that they told her, hey, sit this one out, because they like this particular person. And they put in the backup, which happened to be this victim, Jilian Kelley. And I feel strong about that. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, I'm going out on a limb here and saying that, but it seems pretty fishy to me that all of a sudden the regular was not available, the one that they liked, the one that Tiffany liked, the one that this side of the family liked, like she just wasn't available. And I'm sure investigators are going to be digging into it. Sister Carol Ann Clark, thank you for the $15 birthday super chat. She says, have a great birthday, and with many blessings, I'm sure, coming along with that. Thank you for becoming a member, William. And Girl Friday, thank you for becoming a new member. Much appreciated. Thank you, guys. Let's take a listen to this. This is, again, a reporter from out at the location. It is old coverage, but it is pertaining to the affidavits.
And reports back to us now on what he's learned. Max?
Yeah, and Lane, this shows you just how desolate this area is. We're here about 5 miles away from where that accident first took place. This is known as the Four Corners area. Now, Jilian Kelley, Veronica Butler were supposed to meet here at 10 a.m., but they did not make it there. Their vehicle was found about 5 miles north of where we're at right now. The signal is so bad out here that we actually had to move because we had SOS phone signal. Now, this affidavit has a lot to break down here, so stick with me on what we're taking away here. Now, Butler was in a custody battle with Tiffany Adams. Tiffany Adams is the grandmother of Butler's ex-husband, Wrangler Rickman. So they're in a custody battle, And Butler had a normal supervisor she's preferred. Her name is Cheryl Brune. She was unavailable, so she contacted Kelley to do.
Cheryl Brune was unavailable. And as we're seeing in the chat, and as some of the news reporters like Brian Enton is digging, they told her to take off 2 weeks. And those are some of the things that we won't read about in the probable cause affidavit. But our investigators are going to know that information, if in fact it is true. If that was told to this regular to take 2 weeks off or to not come, that'll also be information that will come out during a trial, if there is in fact a trial.
The supervising. That's what that relationship with Wrangler Rickman. So they're in a custody, and mother of Butler's ex-husband, Wrangler Rickman. So they're in a custody battle, and Butler had a normal supervisor she's preferred. Her name is Cheryl Brune. She was unavailable, so she contacted Kelley to do the supervising. That's what.
So Cheryl Brune, as as we know, was not available, but as we're seeing here, News Nation is doing some digging, and it's alleged that she was told to take 2 weeks off.
That relationship was developed. Brune later then said she was available to supervise, but Adams told her to take a couple weeks off. An interesting note there. Now, Butler told Adams, as we said, 10 a.m. they were going to meet right here. Police did not find the car here. They actually were contacted by family members after they found the car those 5 miles away, as we mentioned. They found evidence of severe injury, blood on the roadway, Butler's glasses in the roadway, a broken hammer, and a pistol magazine, all found. That was found in Kelley's purse, but not the pistol itself. So clear evidence of a crime right off the bat. Now, OSBI interviewed the daughter of Cora Twombly. She's referred to as CW in this affidavit. Now, CW.
All right, so pay attention here, because this, again, this is not new coverage. This is older coverage. But this is what's important, is that, OSBI interviewed everybody. And again, the missing, I think the son, it's alleged that one of the sons committed suicide on the property. All of the background, and of course, this murder investigation is primary, but they're going to look at everything that surrounds this family, going back to 2019, when this all started developing, this just contentious custody battle that was going on between these families. So they're going to go back and they're going to do their due diligence. Trust me, they're going to dot their I's and cross their T's. And I saw some of the folks in the chat saying, what about this one? What about that one? About the son? And they're not just going to forget about potential other victims of these folks. So they're now going to have to do some backtracking. So it is what it is. And I'm going to let you, I want you guys to listen closely here, because this is where he goes into talking about the 16-year-old daughter of Cora Twombly. And that's where this gets it gets rough. Cotton Candy Boobs, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. She says, happy birthday. Thanks for everything you do for these cases. Much love. Cotton Candy Boobs, thank you. And I see that you changed your name. I saw the reason. I heard the reason why you did that. I wish you wouldn't have done that. I just held back on it, but here I am saying Cotton Candy Boobs. Cotton Candy Boobs. Cotton Candy Boobs. No big deal. Curious Kiwi, I know you're in New Zealand, and I know the difference between Australia and New Zealand. So thank you for the birthday wishes. Kia ora. So thank you for being here. All right, let's listen to this without further ado.
Evidence of a crime right off the bat. Now, OSBI interviewed the daughter of Cora Twombly. She's referred to as CW in this affidavit. Now, CW is 16 years old, said she believed Adams, Cole, and Paul Grice were involved in the deaths, and that Adams had provided burner phones. CW said the group was involved in an anti-government group here in the area called Gods Misfits. They actually had regular meetings at the Twombly's. Now, Cora and Cole came back from the day of the murder at 12 o'clock. This is 2 hours after they were supposed to meet at this location. Cora and Cole Twombly told CW, that their daughter, to clean the truck and that she did not have to worry about Veronica Butler ever again. Now, before that, Cora and Cole actually blocked the road to divert Butler and Kelley to where Adams, Coleman, and Grice were. That's when the murder happened. So they were supposed to be at this location where we're live currently. They were then diverted to Adams. That's when the murder takes place. CW also confirmed with the OSBI that an attempt to kill Butler happened in February of 2024 in Hugoton, but Butler did not leave a house. A previous attempt to kill Butler happened back in February of 2024.
And if you guys can recall on that probable cause affidavit, there was also searches, Google searches on how to get someone to come out of their house. So there's just so much to this. And, you know, despite the burner phones and, you know, when we hear about burner phones, we think about Rex Heuermann, right? He bought umpteen amounts of burner phones to contact all of the sex workers who he eventually wound up murdering. And he stands charged with murder of 4 of the Gilgo Beach victims. He used burner phones as well. So these perpetrators, and as we call them, mutts, these mutts use these evasive devices, but it doesn't always work out for them. It doesn't work out for them. Deco Paint and Tea, thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that so much. And thank you to everybody who's in the chat sending birthday love. I just don't want to break up the whole continuity of this whole thing. So I think it's important that we understand that, you know, burner phones and all of these evasive tactics that are employed by these perpetrators and by these really sick, twisted, murderous monsters, law enforcement has the way and the wherewithal to do the electronic forensics. And electronic forensics is the most fascinating part of murder investigations. When you look at the searches that are conducted by these brutal murderers, and we could go to case to case to case. Look, Chad Daybell's on trial right now. Look at the messages that those people sent back and forth, and they didn't even try to get burner phones. They were sending messages about how to take out this evil spirit, how to take out this one, and this one's number is getting high, and all this craziness. So these criminals, they get sloppy, and thank God that they do. So let's take a listen.
That an attempt to kill Butler happened in February of 2024 in Hugoton, but Butler did not leave a house. A previous attempt to kill Butler happened back in February of 2024, just months ago. Now, Adams, also through the affidavit, we learned she bought 3 prepaid cell phones from the Walmart on February 13th in Guyman, Oklahoma. All 3 of those phones were pinged in the area where the car was located, then turned off and turned back near a dam 8.5 miles away. They found that dam just 8.5 miles away, as we mentioned, from the location of the cars. The dam had been dug into, they had hay, and that's the last spot those phones were pinged. All of this evidence that we just brought you up from the affidavit is why these 4 arrests were made. These 4 people were charged with murder, among other charges. Now, we were at a press conference earlier this morning here.
So there you have it. I mean, look, again, like I said, I have the affidavits on my, here. I have it up. I think it's boring to read them because we've all read them. And the bottom line here is that the information that lies within the probable cause and the arrest affidavit, that is not the totality of everything that they have. That is what gives them enough probable cause and enough to put on paper to get a warrant to go out to that house and conduct that hit. And we saw it from News Nation. The News Nation coverage was great because it showed the vehicles. Nancy Liu was down on the ground, boots on the ground, during the coverage of the arrests. And I want to just see if I saved that. I'm hoping that I did. Yeah. So here's some pictures. I just want to see if I can get these larger. I don't think I can. Oh yeah, I'm going to play this. This is from News Nation. Let's take a listen to this. This is from the arrest.
Boyfriend Tad Cullum and Cole and Cora Twombly. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations is not revealing details about the suspects' alleged crimes or what happened, but a custody fight may be linked to it all. Tiffany Kelley was a pickup point at an abandoned gas station in Texas County, Oklahoma. Well, that's where our News Nation crew captured this exclusive.
All right, this is what I wanted to show you. So they went to this location to where the Gods Misfits childs do their work. They went to this location. Tiffany Adams, Cora Twombly, Tad Cullum Adams, Cole Earl Twombly. They went to this location in ballistic, army-like ballistic vehicles. Okay, this is stuff you see with the military, folks. And we do have these in the NYPD. We have these ballistic armored vehicles. But look at how many of them came out here for this warrant hit. And they were pointing guns at everybody and anybody that came up to that location. So this was no joke. They had some advanced intel on some possibly heavily armed people that are sovereign citizens that do not believe in the Constitution of the United States. They do not believe in law and order. They don't even believe that police have authority and power to arrest them. And that's the ironic thing. This is what makes it so great, is when we saw those scumbags handcuffed, shackled, with bulletproof vests on, that their whole thinking, their whole radical beliefs just turned upside down on them. And how great is that? I mean, we don't like to see it in the hands of two innocent victims, Veronica and Jilian, but how ironic is it to see Granny and these other scumbags being brought in shackles and in handcuffs with bulletproof vests? And I, again, I know it. I get why they had to put those bulletproof vests on it. I get why they had to throw drones up in the air. I get why they had to have snipers on the roof, because it's our job to keep them alive so they're brought to justice. They're brought before a court of law and they have their day in court, and then they're put away. Either they get the death penalty and under Oklahoma law. I think these crimes committed here constitute the death penalty. They have enough to go ahead with capital punishment, but let's see what happens. But they are not going to see the light of day again. And for me, this is what justice looks like, looking at them being hauled in yesterday and humiliated out in front of the community. And all of those kudos to the community for rallying behind these victims. So this is what it looked like outside over the weekend, outside of that location on Saturday.
Footage of law enforcement closing in on the suspects to execute the 4 arrest warrants in both Texas and neighboring
4 heavily armored vehicles. These are like Humvee type vehicles that are used in the military. So
Cimarron County. We spotted more than 20 police and SWAT vehicles at one point. I
mean, look at this. This is from a real distance, and you could tell that camera is zoomed in, but look at the personnel, folks.
Following them to various locations outside the Twombly's property. We heard an officer on a loudspeaker announcing, "We have a warrant for your arrest." All officers appeared heavily armed and prepared for a gunfight in case of resistance. They also seemed...
This kind of reminds me, and let me know in the chat, of the Branch Davidian compound, the David Koresh. Let me know if listen, I'm off my pain meds. I'm now just taking Tylenol or Advil. So I'm not on heavy pain meds anymore, but let me know if I'm off base with that. But doesn't this ring David Koresh with the Branch Davidians that we saw in Waco, Texas? It as a law enforcer and as somebody who has been to one too many funerals for members of the service, and again, it includes state, federal, local, Secret Service, ATF. And when I saw this scene over the weekend, this freaking gave me PTSD like a mofo. It reeked. This right here, I'm going to go full screen with it. This right here, this News Nation exclusive, reeked of the Branch Davidian Waco, Texas incident with me. And I started praying for those law enforcement personnel, because as I watched this unfold, and of course I didn't see it live, but as I watched it unfold, my stomach was just in knots. I just felt, my God, is this going to be a shootout that turns into them burning down this location and killing everybody that's inside of it? Because and with these type of people, they don't want to be taken into custody. Thank you, Joellen. Thank you so much for the super birthday love. Happy birthday to you, and thank you for everything. Yeah, I'm turning 60 tomorrow. I know you guys all know it. I don't want to make it. I don't want to make this about me, but yes, tomorrow is the big 6-0. I won't be live tomorrow, so thank you to everyone who's sending in birthday love. Marie GRN, the Twombly's son found dead in his truck. Let me highlight that one. Hold on, stand by, because this one's important. thank you for the super chat. Montana, Mama, Sister Carol Ann Clark, Cotton Candy, I got to you. PJ, thank you for becoming a member or being a member for 15 months. Happy birthday, DutyRon. Happy birthday from Cheryl F. Deco Paint T. I got to this. Here it is. Marie, thank you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Twombly's son found dead in his truck. I mentioned this before. And the dog was shot on his property. Yeah, I heard that. And he wasn't found for a while. Like he was there for a little bit. Nothing came of it. Sounds suspicious to me. And I mentioned this up front. So thank you for that, Marie. I recommend that they go back and do a thorough investigation and look into every engagement with these people because they don't sound like they're right. They don't sound like they're right in my eyes. So thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that. The sovereign citizen stuff is, again, it's always dangerous because they do not respect authority. They feel like they make the rules, and that's not how it goes. That's not how it works here, you know. And if we didn't have our police and we didn't have laws and things for people to abide by, we'd have anarchy. We'd have people going into each other's homes and stealing things, and nobody would have to be held accountable for anything. So law and order is a big thing that needs to be in place, and these people don't believe in that.
Wary of all who approach, drawing guns to turn people out in case of resistance. We spotted more than 20 police and SWAT vehicles at one point, following them to various locations outside the Twombly's property. We heard an officer on a loudspeaker announcing, "We have a warrant for your arrest." All officers appeared heavily armed and prepared for a gunfight in case of resistance. They also seemed wary of all who approached, drawing guns to turn people back, including us. Tiffany.
There was actually one news piece of footage where they actually showed them drawing their rifles down on somebody in a white pickup truck. And I don't know who that person was. I think it was somebody in the community was driving down towards that location, and they actually pointed their semi-automatic rifles at this vehicle and was probably saying things like "Stop immediately, or we'll open fire on you." So you know, they don't play games out here. So the media was a long way away, Pauline. I don't think the media was trying to interfere. They were just trying to film. And the media has, you know, very, very long telephoto zoom lenses. So they were nowhere close to that action, but they were close, zoomed in for for us to watch. Another super chat comes in and from Amos French. Cora has 3 kids and 1 grandchild. She has the most to lose. She will sing before long. Listen, I hope so. I hope somebody sings so this doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. These victims' families, they deserve to see justice served in the names of Veronica and Jilian. And we're going to look at some video and some footage of families sobbing over this horrendous, horrific. It makes no sense to take a human life over custody battle over a child. And that's the sickness. That's the sickness of these people. And that's why they are a menace to society and should never be walking free. So Wendy, thank you. I figure I'll just say happy birthday now. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, look, anybody that takes another human's life, in my eyes, and I'm a Catholic, and my aunt is a Catholic nun. I do believe in the death penalty, and I know it goes against my religion. Thou shalt not kill, right? But when someone does something like this, this is just my opinion. They don't need to be housed, food, 3 square meals, be able to work out, be able to breathe the air we breathe. I just think that the process sucks. It takes 10, 20 years with all these appeals and stuff, and they wind up, even if they get convicted and sentenced to death, it takes 10 to 20 years to do it. It just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense to me, but it doesn't. So I'm hoping that my aunt, Sister Camille D'Arienzo, doesn't look at this, because she will be calling me if she hears me talk like that. But it is what it is. An eye for an eye, says PJ.
Adams and the others are now behind bars at the Texas County Jail. They also face charges of kidnapping and conspiracy to commit murder, indicating they allegedly plotted the killings. OSBI is not providing details on what.
So that's the thing is, yes, they can plot and scheme and scam from within. I've heard of many jail hits that were ordered from inside prison and jail. So don't be fooled, folks. Just because they're locked down doesn't mean that they can't give orders to someone that's on the outside, that's a part of their organization, that's a part of this Gods Misfits. And you know what? Listen, I'm going to play a piece. There is a Gods Misfits motorcycle club in South Carolina. And correct me if I'm wrong, there's going to be offshoots of this Gods Misfits, because there may be groups and organizations across the United States that might just have that name. And I think in this instance, and I'm going to make sure I have the right clip, this isn't it. I'm glad that I double checked. It was a guy, and he has some religious ties, but he says that he's getting threats and he's getting bullied from others. Here it is, South Carolina, Gods Misfits. Let's play this because I think it's important.
I'm Erin Christie. Tonight's top story takes us to the Oklahoma Panhandle. There are new developments as 4 suspects in the murders of 2 women in Texas County appear in court. The judge denied bail for all of them during the arraignment held in front of rows of enraged victims' family members. Meanwhile, across the country, one man says because of the case here, he's trying to clear his name. One day after authorities confirmed the bodies found in Texas County as Veronica.
And let me know in the chat right now, everybody in the chat, does this sound familiar? Somebody being bullied because people online think that they have an affiliation to something that happened in, let's say, Oklahoma or Texas or Kansas or California. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen that before. Put a 2 if you think it doesn't happen. I say I'm going with the 1 right now because I've seen this so many times. So my vote is cast right there for a 1. This has happened more times than not. Where, look, in Brian Kohlberger, remember there was the guy who lived close by to the 1122 King Road address, and he was a criminal justice or a law student over in the University of Idaho. And he was receiving death threats, and he was being accused of being the murderer, and he was being accused of looking into the house. And remember that guy? He had to go into the police station, and he had to ask the police to swab his cheek to get him out of the limelight. This was a student at the university who was living off campus in some housing, and they were saying that he was the murderer. He had to go in and say, hey, police chief, Chief Fry, swab my cheek so I can get out of this shitstorm that I've been put into. Holy sweet mother of Jesus. Rochella and Pete Pranzo sends a $60 birthday super chat from Pete and I. All the best on your 60th. $60, that's $1 for each year. Thank you guys for the super love. I love you guys. I hope you're getting better. I hope you're on the mend. Look, I'm out of my sling, and guess what? My arm is feeling good today. I just took a shower. I'm allowed to be out of the sling for 2 hours a day to shower and to do physical therapy. So this is like the first time you'll see me on camera without the sling on. So I got to be careful. I'm leaning it right here. So thank you for the super birthday love. Barbara George, thank you. Happy birthday, DutyRon. God bless. God bless you. And this is the greatest community that I could ever imagine. I would have never imagined in 100 million years that we would have amassed this many, close to 300,000 subscribers of really, really good people. So if you're not yet subscribed, consider right now going and hitting the thumbs up and subscribe. Subscribe for my birthday, just for the heck of it. Give me a 30-day, I'll give you the money back guarantee. Try me out for 30 days. And if you don't like me and Ed Wallace, you can unsubscribe. There's no shipping and handling, no restocking fees. I promise that I won't come and hound you and tell you to come back and subscribe. So thank you guys. Thank you all for being here. All right. So here's a guy who's getting threatened. Guess what? By somebody outside of the country. He said He says in this piece, somebody from the United Kingdom is coming at me. And he called him a troll. He called whoever it was a troll. Some troll is trolling me from the United Kingdom. So what's up with that?
The Panhandle, there are new developments as 4 suspects in the murders of 2 women in Texas County appear in court. The judge denied bail
Lisa.
for all of them during the arraignment held in front of rows of enraged victims' family members. Meanwhile, across the country, one man says,
you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. I screwed that up. Sorry.
because of the case here, he's trying to clear his name. One day after authorities confirmed the bodies found in Texas County as Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley, 4 suspects charged in their kidnapping and murder.
These are savages right here. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the face of evil. And it's the face of evil times 4 when you see each one of these. But when she comes in and out, that puss on her face, and she, again, by her own admittance, and this could have been a spontaneous utterance. We call this in the detective world, perpetrators, before you read them their rights, if they say something to you and you don't ask them any questions, it's called a spontaneous utterance. And I think that she may have made a spontaneous utterance before you are officially questioned. In other words, they put her in handcuffs. She just started talking. No detective or nobody asked her anything. She just started saying things. And when you do that, that's a spontaneous utterance, and it's admissible in court, and it can be used against you. It's well known to all the perps.
Appear in court. According to documents obtained by 2 News, Tiffany Adams, the grandmother of Butler's children, and her boyfriend, Tad Cullum, along with friends Cora and Cole Twombly, plotted to kill Butler because she was trying to get custody of her children who were in Adams' care. Kelley was
This is what this case is all about, these 2 right here. And Kelley was an innocent victim. Jilian Kelley, innocent victim here. She was just trying to do the right thing. She was trying to be a good civilian. She was trying to be a good human being, and she was part of the crossfire. And people ask, and even the 16-year-old said, why did you have to kill Jilian? Why did you have to kill her? Dead men and dead women tell no tales. And she was there, and they were going to kill Veronica. And because she was there, they could not let her go. So they decided, and they made the decision, we are going to kill both of them. And they knew it. This was premeditated. This was planned out. And they purposely went there. And their mission, that they said they were going on a mission, their mission was to kill both of these young ladies. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part, because one of them has 2 children, right? Veronica has 2 children, and Jilian has 4. That's 6 kids without their mother. Let that sink in. So this granny here, whatever the hell you want to call her, I call her a monster. This monster right here, along with her compadres, the other 3, committed this heinous act and thought it was okay and thought that they would get away with it. How the I'm holding back. How the F did why am I doing that? How the fuck did they think that they were going to just get away with this? They think they were just going to throw them in a hole and that nobody was going to say, hey, where are they? Where's Veronica? Where's Jilian? Jillian's a wife of a pastor. You know? Come on, man. What are you thinking? What are these people thinking? Are you guys with me? Put a 1 in the chat if you're with me. If you're not, then put a nothing in the chat. All right, let's let this play.
Appear in court. According to documents obtained by 2 News, Tiffany Adams, the grandmother of Butler's children, and her boyfriend, Tad Cullum, along with friends Cora and Cole Twombly, plotted to kill Butler because she was trying to get custody of her children who were in Adams' care. Kelley was designated to travel with Butler to pick her kids up.
They deserve to rot and burn in the depths of hell for all I care.
The family reportedly yelled expletives inside the courtroom. An aunt of Butler said she had to hold her brother back from attacking the suspects.
Emotional is not the word.
Our family lost a beautiful, beautiful young lady. that will forever be left and missed.
Anticipating upset crowds, Sheriff Matt Boley said they added patrols and a drone.
Do you guys know exactly what we're dealing with? Neither do we. All right.
This sheriff, by the way, I want to just say kudos to Sheriff Matt Boley. He hugged the woman that you just saw crying. I have him on film because I did the walk-in. If you guys haven't checked out that video, I did the walk-in of all four of these perps yesterday. I'll link it up here in one of the cards in the description, in the little cards up above. But go and watch the video from yesterday. This man right here hugged that woman and her husband, and that just goes to show you that, you know, law enforcement are not, here he is standing outside. This is the sheriff. He hugged them and said some nice words to them, I'm sure, and consoled them outside of that courthouse yesterday. And that goes to show you that our law enforcers, albeit it's an overwhelming high percentage, in the high 90s, are out there to do the right thing. And those little 1%ers, those small percentages of bad guys and girls that are out there in law enforcement, it doesn't ruin it for all of us, because you look at this and you look at humanity and you look at these are just human beings with kids of their own, their parents. I went to work every day with little children at home, little babies at home when I was on patrol, and I was seeing people getting killed all around me, and I still went to work. I went to work on the morning of September 11th with my two sons and my wife crying, telling me not to go to the World Trade Center, not to go in as they see our country getting attacked. But I had to leave them behind because I had to go and serve. And I couldn't stay home and be a coward. I went to work that morning and left my kids crying. That was the toughest thing that I had to do that day. It was the toughest thing I had to do. I love my family. But let's listen to this sheriff. He's an awesome guy. And then we're going to hear from the South Carolina Gods Misfits, who has nothing to do with these heinous people.
Drone.
Do you guys know exactly what we're dealing with? Neither do we. All right. So we're going to take those extra precautions.
The affidavit claims the suspects were in an anti-government group called Gods Misfits. Additional members are unclear, but one of them is not a man called Squirrel, who runs a website called Gods Misfits out of South Carolina.
It's amazing how your life can change in just a split second, and you not have anything to do with it at all.
He says his Gods Misfits is a small ministry he runs with his wife, but now he's just trying to exonerate himself from internet users from around the world.
Well, Leco is from United Kingdom, and he's I guess they call him a troll.
Call him a
and
troll.
So I'm like, you don't even have a dog in the fight, dude. Why are you trying to spread hate toward me?
He said he just wants to spread love of Jesus, and that the last thing he wants is to be associated with the devil's work.
So there he is. This is his website. He's got a Harley Davidson or some type of motorcycle. Looks like a nice one to me. Something that I would get on and ride. And this guy's getting trolled by the people on the internet, because the internet detectives are saying that he has something to do with this, that he's a part of this. And that's the effed up part of this whole thing, is that, you know, in the name of justice, we put ourselves into these cases, but some people don't know where to stop and draw that line. And that's the problem, is that, you know, when you go too far, we are just civilians. We're not law enforcement. I'm retired. I don't go out and try to solve cases. I don't go out and try to arrest people. I don't go out and try to accuse people of things. But some people who have no law enforcement background will go out and try to shake up the tree, like they want to be, or they want to be detectives, or they want to go out and do this stuff. And this is what's happening. And I'm sure that this guy hasn't heard the last of this.
Is a small ministry he runs with his wife, but now he's just trying to exonerate himself from internet users from around the world.
Well, Leco is from United Kingdom, and he's I guess they call him a troll. And so I'm like, you don't even have a dog in the fight, dude. Why are you trying to spread hate toward me?
He said he just wants to spread love of Jesus, and that the last thing he wants is to be associated with the devil's work. The affidavit says the suspects bought burner phones found near the crime scene and tasers as well. It also states the children's father was in rehab at the time of the women's disappearance.
All right, I want to just say thank you, Curious Kiwi, for gifting out some memberships. I think Curious Kiwi sent out, let me just double check. Jennifer, thank you for becoming a member. Yes, Curious Kiwi, there she is. Thank you. Thank you. And Curious Kiwi is in New Zealand, by the way, which is different and a whole different place than Australia, just so everybody knows. So kia ora. Kia ora. Lisa, thank you for the $5. Muggsy sends it a super chat. Fist bump, big dog. Thank you, Muggsy. Muggsy Siegel, checking in, everybody. Lisa, thank you for becoming a member. Lisa, thank you for actually gifting a member as well. Gifting a membership, much appreciated. So that's what we have going on. Craziness is starting to happen with this. And listen, we need to let the police and the investigators do their job and get the job done. All right, I'm going to gift out 10 memberships while I play this next piece. So what you have to do is give the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and put a number. Let's put a number 60 in the chat for my 60th birthday. So put a 60 in the chat, thumbs up, like the video. If you want, share it. That's extra. Subscribe, thumbs up, 60 in the chat, and I'll send out 10 free memberships. And before I gift those memberships, I want to say this. Brian Enton texted on his Twitter X account yesterday an extremely emotional court hearing for the 4 suspects accused of killing the Kansas moms, Veronica, Butler, and Jilian Kelley, 39 and 27 respectively. The victims' family members. This is a tweet from Brian Enton. The victims' family members had to be held back as the suspects were brought into court. The family called Grandma Tiffany Adams a fucking bitch as she entered, and others entered, and the others in the courtroom shouted out, "You are sorry pieces of shit." So that's coming straight from Twitter. I wanted to read that. I read it yesterday. I want you guys to know that was the tone inside the courtroom. That was the tone of what was happening as that as the arraignment was taking place. I'm going to play this because it's about community support for this family, and I love when the community gets involved in things. I think it's a beautiful show of. Why is this happening? Hold on. Community support. Keep the 60s going in the chat so this way I can gift out as I show this. All right, here we go.
And Jilian, and it's getting national attention as the community continues to pray for these families.
Hold on.
Yeah,
folks.
guys, a business.
All right, here we go. Community support.
Yeah, guys, a business in Kansas is doing a fundraiser to honor Veronica and Jilian, and it's getting national attention as the community continues to pray for these families.
The overall goal is just to, keep their names out there, keep the memory alive, honor the life that they lived because they were wonderful.
Beth and Pamela told me about their effort to help the families of Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley. They're selling these t-shirts with Jillian's favorite Bible verse on the back. All the money from the shirt sales will go to their families.
We wanted to be respectful of the family, so we checked with them, and then they helped kind of come up with the design, gave us a few directions to go.
Beth told me she knew Jilian pretty well. Their daughters played sports together, and she says Jilian was a pastor's wife, but much more than that.
Jilian was not a normal preacher's wife, I don't think. I caught her quite a few times on a motorcycle, which the first time caught me off guard a little bit.
Main Revelation already has orders for the shirts for customers in 13 different states. And while they appreciate the support, they say Veronica and Jillian's families need more than that.
Probably one of the best ways to be, helpful from afar is just.
Let me just say something. I love these two women. I love what they're doing. I love that they're showing support on Facebook and selling those shirts and giving all that money to the families because they're going to need it. And I know no amount of money in the world is going to help these people, but I love this type of behavior. Look, I'm gifting out memberships one day before my birthday. I love to give back. I love to give to people who need. And guess what? These two women, I'm going to put it back because I want to see that shirt again, because those shirts were beautiful. And I love that it had a prayer on the back, which was her favorite prayer. So I'm gonna roll it back just a little bit for you guys. And this is a wonderful. This to me is this is beautiful. This is a whole bowl of good.
And Kelley, they're selling these T-shirts with Jillian's favorite Bible verse on the back. All the money from the shirt sales will go to the.
Look at that. Gotta love it, folks. Gotta love it.
Their families.
We wanted to be respectful of the family, so we checked with them, and then they helped kind of come up with the design, gave us a few directions to go.
Beth told me she knew Jillian pretty well. Their daughters played sports together, and she says Jillian was a pastor's wife, but much more than that.
Jillian was not a normal preacher's wife, I don't think. I caught her quite a few times on a motorcycle, which the first time caught me off guard a little bit.
Main Revelation already has orders for the shirts for customers in 13 different states. And while they appreciate the support, they say Veronica and Jillian's families need more than that.
Probably one of the best ways to be, helpful from afar is just to continue to pray for them.
Let us continue praying for Veronica and Jillian's families, their friends, our churches, this community, as we grieve the loss of two amazing ladies, two very caring, giving, and encouraging ladies.
This past Sunday, Veronica Butler's pastor, Tim Singer, spoke about the case that has impacted his town and his congregation.
I would like to suggest that you give the family space. It's difficult to try to answer the same question over and over again.
He acknowledged feelings of pain and sadness, but he encouraged strength.
May we understand what it means to truly worship God, to worship God when life's good, and even more so when we're going through a fire.
Amen. Amen to that. So I wanted to show that because I thought that was a really good thing. But the main topic that we're speaking about is the affidavit. Is Cora Twombly's daughter, as referred to in the affidavit, CW, 16 years old, in danger? And my answer to that is hell to the yeah. She is in danger. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that the authorities who are running this case, and to me, I believe that the Texas County sheriffs, the local sheriffs, but the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations has the manpower and the wherewithal to understand that, hey, this complaining witness is important to this case, and she needs to be protected. She deserves to be protected. And tips from the public is how a lot of these cases get solved. And we're going to hear right here, this is just a minute and 20 seconds, but this is some local Oklahoma news station, local Oklahoma 4 News. And they say in this news report that because of the public and because of this 16-year-old daughter stepping up and anonymous and people calling in tips to these authorities is what cracked this case. So kudos to the public for stepping up. When you see something or if you know something, say something.
We begin with breaking news in the disappearance of two Kansas mothers. The OSBI found two bodies in rural Texas County in the Panhandle yesterday. The medical examiner still has to make an official identification, but the bodies are believed to be Veronica.
She better be in protective custody. And again, this is not a new report. The IDs have been confirmed through the medical examiner's office, but I just want to play this because they talk about the public and how the public helped on this case.
Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley. Their car was found 2 weeks ago along an Oklahoma highway with signs of foul play, and that sparked an intense investigation by the OSBI, one that's drawn a lot of media attention. The OSBI sharing details on the case today, saying they received several tips and information from the public, which helped lead
several tips and information from the public, and that's coming from the police. And I'm going to tell you, as a retired detective from the New York City Police Department, we relied heavily, and Lieutenant Pete Branzo can tell you this, we relied heavily on the public to help us solve the case, with people who know and hear things out there. People who see things and hear things are picking up the phone and calling in these tips. So that is tremendous that the news is acknowledging that, and not only just the news, but the police are releasing that information so the news can put that out. I think it's just a tremendous tip of the cap to the general public for showing up.
Case today, saying they received several tips and information from the public, which helped lead to the arrest of 4 people in the case.
This case was tragic. You have 2 people who are dead, and 4 people that committed an absolutely brutal crime. And so, again, that's why it took every agency involved in this in order to get this done.
Tad Cullum, Tiffany Adams, and Cole and Cora Twombly face first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit murder charges.
So there you have it. I just wanted to play that because I think it's important. There's a couple other things. Listen, I'm going to pull up the arrest affidavit because it looks like a lot of people in the chat want me to show this. If you want me to show the arrest affidavit, put a 1 in the chat. If you've already seen it, I know Melanie Little read it out. She did a great job. I encourage you to go over and watch her live stream, Attorney Melanie Little. I'll link it in the description. But she read every ounce of this arrest affidavit. It's 7 or 8 pages. If you want to see it, I'll grab it up and we'll put it up on the screen. Page 2 is really what, for me, is concerning and is relevant to what we're talking about here. So I want to just bring that up so we can highlight the intensity of what I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about is the end of page 2 of 7. So we'll start with that. It's the date on it is right here. And just let me know if you could see this good by putting, just tell me yes. Just put a yes in the chat if this is good. If it's not, I can make it just a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger. If this is good for viewing, just say yes. And I'm going to start right where my cursor is. Okay, Vixie Blaze says yes. Lindsay took the easy way out and put just a Y. I understand. Thank you. All right. So this is page 2 of 7, and it says the CW, which is complainant witness, was told on March. Hold on. Let me make sure. Oh, no. Let me start it at the right place. Hold on. I want to make sure I got it right. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here, this is where it starts. Thank God I just corrected myself. I was getting a little ahead of myself. So it's right up here at the top. Page 2 of 7. On April 3rd of 2024, the OSBI interviewed CW, which is Twombly's daughter, age 16 years old. CW is the daughter of Cora Twombly and Colby White. Cora is married to Cole Twombly. So they clearly state that Cole Twombly is not her father. It is Colby White. Cora is married to Cole Twombly. Complainant witness, which is 16-year-old, stated that she had overheard group conversations related to Butler not protecting her children from her brother, all in reference to a sexual abuse allegation. So this is what she's hearing secondhand from conversations. The complainant witness, which is a 16-year-old, advised that she was told by Cora that Adams, Cullum, Cora, Cole, and this guy, Paul Grice, who in the chat has questions about Paul Grice. Why is he not arrested? Where is Paul Grice? Is he still out there? Was he involved? Did he, in fact, was he the 5th person that was involved in murdering our victims, Veronica, Butler, and Jilian Kelley? This is why everyone's talking about Paul Grice, and you have a right to talk about Paul Grice. Okay, and Paul Grice were involved in the deaths of Butler and Kelley. The complainant witness states that Adams had provided burner phones to use so they could communicate without using their personal devices. That is to evade detection. The complainant witness, which is the 16-year-old, says 2 burner phones charging on Cora's nightstand in her bedroom. She saw 2 burner phones charging in Cora's nightstand in the bedroom. And as we know, 16-year-olds know what burner phones are. 16-year-olds know what regular phones are, and they know what burner phones are, because she's saying to herself, wait, this is not the phone that my mom uses on a regular basis. This is not the phone. All right, let's continue. So I'm going to go up to the top. The complainant witness described Cora, Cole, Adams, Cullum, and Paul Grice as being part of an anti-government group that had religious affiliations. Through OSBI investigations, it was learned that they called their group Gods Misfits. Regular meetings are held weekly at Twombly's and the home of Barrett and Lacey Cook. Now, again, Barrett and Lacey Cook, it's not a crime to hold these meetings. It's a crime if they're involved. So I've seen this name and this name being asked of me about these people. If there's no criminality and they are just holding their weekly meetings and they're not involved in a murder scheme and a murder plot, a conspiracy to commit murder, then, then they're not on the table. But the fifth person, Paul Grice, is definitely somebody who I'm saying to myself, where the hell is he? And why is nobody talking about him? Is he a danger to society? Is he a murderer on the loose? Is he a part of this? Or just these 4? He's listed in the affidavit, Fremont Pathfinder. It's right here. So he's listed right in the affidavit. All right, the complainant witness, which is, again, the 16-year-old daughter, was told on March 29th of 2024, that's one day before these 2 were murdered. So the complainant witness was told March 29th, 2024, that Cora and Cole would not be home in the morning when she woke, and they were going on a mission. They were going on a mission. When the complainant witness woke up at approximately 1000 hours, which is 10 a.m. in the morning, Cora and Cole were not home, but they came home around 12 noon. The complainant witness, 16-year-old, knew that Cole and Cora took a blue and gray Chevy pickup owned by them and a blue flatbed pickup owned by Clint Twombly. When they left and returned in the same vehicles, this complainant witness was told to clean the interior of the Chevy pickup. She was told to clean the interior of the Chevy pickup. And what we don't hear in this probable cause affidavit, because we don't need to hear that, is what was inside that pickup. What did she have to clean? Was it blood? Was it brain spatter? What was it that she had to clean up? It doesn't say that in this arrest affidavit, in this probable cause affidavit. I'm going to link the description to the Facebook, Susan Jilian, on how to purchase a shirt. I'll link in the description. Give me 10 minutes after this is over, and I'll link it in the description. Cub Scouts honor. The complainant witness asked Cora what had happened and was told that things did not go as planned, but that they would not have to worry about her, meaning Butler, again. The complainant witness was told that Cora and Cole blocked the road to stop Butler and Kelley and divert them to where Adams, Cullum, and Grice were. Complainant witness asked about Kelley and why she had to die, and was told by Cora that she wasn't innocent either, as she had supported Butler. Complainant witness also asked Cora if their bodies were put in a well, and Cora replied, something like that. The complainant witness also disclosed that other attempts to kill Butler occurred during February of 2024, near Hugoton, Kansas, in which Adams, Cullum, Cole, Cora, and Grice went to Hugoton, but Butler did not leave her residence. And that's where the internet searches on Google on how to get someone to come out of their house comes into play, because those searches were done in the month of February. This is consistent with web searches discovered on Adam's phone about how to get someone out of their house. According to Cora, the plan was to throw an anvil through Butler's windshield while driving, making it look like an accident, because anvils are regularly fall off of work vehicles. And anvils are metal objects, big metal objects that are used to bend other, metal pieces, and possibly, putting horseshoes on horses, or, just used in farming, in the farming community. It's a common thing. You look up an anvil and they'll show it to you. You'll see it on the thing. But this probable cause affidavit says enough, but it leaves some of the stuff out. While in Kerrick, Texas, interviewing the complainant witness and her brother, Cora and Cole arrived and tried to get access to the complainant witness and her brother. Cora, the mom, was verbally aggressive and was very upset with the police that she was not granted access to the complaining witness and her brother. So the mother showed up while they were interviewing her and was like, hey, what are you doing? I want to see my son and my daughter. Why are you interviewing them? And the police basically told her, shut the F up, and we're doing our job here. Cole exited the vehicle armed with a handgun in a holster on his belt. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine police at your home or at a location, at a secondary location, and they're interviewing your kids, and you have the audacity? This is how dangerous these people are, is that you have the audacity to get out of your car with a gun holstered on your belt. And he exited the vehicle armed with a handgun and came towards the police. Lieutenant Pete, this kind of stuff doesn't happen in New York. That's for sure. But that is some scary shit right there. I mean, you have the audacity and the balls to come out with a gun in a holster on your belt. Cole exited the vehicle. Here, it says right here, exited the vehicle armed with a handgun and a holster on his belt. The OSBI investigator showed that Adams searched for gun shops on her cell phone. A search of local gun shops shows Adam buying 5 stun guns at the Big R store in Guymon, Oklahoma. The purchase was made on March 23rd. That's my wedding anniversary. The purchase was made on March 23rd, 2024. And it just goes on to tell more stuff. But, the thing of it is, when you read this and you read it over and over again, more things stick out to you. Like, again, why is this Paul Grice guy still out there when it's spelled out that he went out on this mission, right? Is anybody with me on this? Paul Grice, as per the complainant witness, the 16-year-old Cora's daughter, Paul Grice allegedly went out on this mission that morning, right? Jolene Marie, I mean, are you with me on this? I know you read this thing front and back. I read this probably about 5-6 times. But where the F is Paul Grice? Where is he? It says it right here. Paul Grice, it says, complainant witness advised that she was told by Cora that Adams, Cullum, Cora, Cole, and Paul Grice were involved in the deaths of Butler and Kelley. Right there. Bingo. Yahtzee. Where is this murderer? Where's Paul Grice? That's what I would be asking questions if I was at a news conference. I would be asking the sheriff, if I was a local reporter, hey, where's Paul Grice? Did he in fact murder these 2 women? So, anyways, crazy, right? I'm concerned and I'm worried. I'm hoping that she's in protective custody, and I'm hoping that she has armed security, an armed police officer, male and female, preferably 2 or more, to be with her or be outside of her home. And that's not even a guarantee there as well. Here's the Facebook page to purchase the shirts. So it's Facebook called Main Revelation. Main Revelation. I'm just looking at the thing. I'm gonna just copy and paste this and put it in the chat. So here's the page. Click on the picture to go to our website to order, and then you could just go on and order right here from the website. So I'll link it in the description, folks. All right. Again, on behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, Ed's going to be traveling back next week. He'll be back. I'm going to be radio silent for the next probably 2 days. I'll probably be off. Tomorrow is my 60th birthday, so I'm going to be off. I'll do a members only live stream on Saturday. So if you're not a member yet, become a member. It's easy. The lowest tier costs $34 for the entire year. We do a lot of live streams that involve educational aspects of crime scene and investigations. And we break down these cases. Oh, wait a minute. Before I go, holy shit. I got to play this for you. I would be remiss if I didn't do this. I'd be totally off base. Curious Kiwi and everybody, you guys are used to this. But this is the attorney, former attorney for Grandma, the monster. It would have screwed up this whole thing if I didn't play this, because this old dude gets on the phone and starts talking about, you have to listen to this. And God, this is 8 minutes long, so I'll try to speed it up, but you have to listen to this. This is an attorney who represented the grandmother. That's Tiffany Adams. Who here heard this interview with this on Cuomo? It was last night. Cuomo interviewed this guy on the phone. If you heard this interview, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't hear it, put a 2. I want to see how many people heard it or didn't hear it. Thank you for the birthday love. Thank you for the birthday love. I couldn't even lift my arm up to do that. The attorney sound crazy, right? Where is that? Somebody said attorney sounded crazy. He did. He was making her out to be a good person. Like she's got she's a well-respected rancher, I think. I think he said she's a well-respected rancher. Like what? She just killed two mothers. A well-respected rancher? Listen to this, folks.
I could not imagine it. I could not imagine it. It was a shock to find out she was charged.
When you look through the documents, counsel, and the recitation of what happened from the
again, this is a former, as it says, former attorney of Grandma. He's not representing her now, but he represented her for something in the past. So this is on the phone talking. He didn't want to even put his face out there. We know what Brian Enton interviewed a judge that was, from that local area, and he gave an interview and he had to resign. So this guy's given a phone interview. Let's listen.
16-year-old witness specifically. It is a pretty compelling narrative that your client was absolutely involved.
Wow. Cotton Candy Boob says, and she puts at the end, Cotton Candy Boob KKB. Cotton Candy Boob says that's the same lawyer who represented Timothy McVeigh. Wow. Oklahoma City bomber. That happened on my birthday, April 19th.
In this, and it was planned. How do you understand that?
Well, to be fair, this has been a contentious custody and guardianship matter, and a lot of temporary orders have been entered by the court, but no final orders having been entered. It's gone on too long and it's too acrimoniously. Now, at Ms. Adams is a well-known member of the community.
A well-known member of the community. Can you imagine that this guy had the audacity to say that? Like, I can't even fucking believe that he just said that. Like, I'm outraged by that. I don't know. Am I off base with that?
Ms. Adams is a well-known member of the community.
What?
She's in the farming and ranching business for 5 years. She's on the board of the county hospital, and she's a farmer rancher. She has strong feelings. The children's mother and father, no member.
This is her former attorney. It says it right here. For those of you who are asking me who this is, I think Fuzzy Doxy asked. On the phone, Stephen Jones, former attorney for Tiffany Adams, for Grandma, for Granny, for Monster, right here that they're showing. They're showing her purposely. He formerly represented her on a different case, not this case, but he's giving accolades. She's on the board of the hospital. Like, what? Are you on drugs?
And a lot of temporary orders by the court, but no final orders having been entered. It's gone on too long and it's too acrimoniously. Now, at the Ms. Adams is a well-known member of the community. She's in the farming and ranching business. Her families are pioneers. She's on the board of the county hospital. And she's a farmer rancher. She has strong feelings. The children's mother and father were never married. So we have this custody battle. The father is serving a time in prison, so he's not available. And she asked the court in a petition for guardianship to be made the guardian of the children.
Right.
In other words,
I've heard it all. I don't even know how Cuomo is holding back. Like, I don't know if I wouldn't have been able to interrupt. I would have had to interrupt this guy. Like, excuse me, counsel, do you know that she stands right now accused of murdering, and she admitted on her own in a spontaneous utterance to the police that she killed two mothers, Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley?
Custody. Now, what brought this on was the issue of temporary visitation and whether it would be
supervised or unsupervised.
Yes.
Right, but I get all that, and I get that it was ugly, counsel. What I'm saying is, did you ever get any indication that your client was willing, desperate enough to do anything violent to the mother just to keep custody of the kids?
I did not.
When you heard that, you say she's a member of the community, she's well known. Did you know that she was a part of an organization called Gods Misfits? That's,
of course not.
Supposedly this kind of anarchic organization that's anti-government, anti-rules.
I did not know that, but I'm not surprised. Cimarron County and much of the Panhandle is very individualistic, independent.
There was a woman in the background who coached him and made him say independent. Anybody catch that? It might have been his wife or somebody in the background. She said something, and he repeated what she said.
Individualistic, independent, mostly farmers and town suppliers.
This guy sounds like a
very,
lunatic.
very conservative. And I've represented people in the Panhandle over 50 years.
You need to retire.
And every time I go out there, I hear about a new group that doesn't believe in your dollar bill or other things. And that just goes on in Cimarron County. It's a small, isolated county, looks Amarillo.
So he just shit on everybody in Cimarron County. I cannot believe that everybody in Cimarron County has that same belief. I'm personally offended by that statement that he just made there, because I know for a fact there's good people there. There's good people in that county, because look at who showed up at that courthouse, people of the community. And this guy, by saying that these people, all these people in Cimarron County, they don't believe in the dollar bill. I mean, come on, dude.
Or other things. And that just goes on in Cimarron County. It's a small, isolated county, looks Amarillo, shops Amarillo, watches Amarillo television, and they keep to themselves. But since 1960, they have changed politically. Very evangelical, very conspiratorial in the sense of not trusting the government. Now, that's probably half the county. The other half of the county is traditional farmers and ranchers,
right,
who pay their bills, and
yeah, but he just shit on all of those good people who pay their bills and are farmers and ranchers and that are law-abiding citizens. He made it out to sound like in the beginning of this that everybody in Cimarron County has that belief, and I think that was the most horrible thing that he could have did for the people, because one bad apple or a couple bad apples don't spoil it for the whole community. I mean, every neighborhood has shitty people in it. Let's be real here. Every neighborhood, I don't care how nice it is, you have some shitty people that are doing criminal activity. There's nowhere in America where there's nobody doing bad stuff. Or nowhere on the globe for that matter.
Participate in community life. So
well, this is the first half, it seems, we're dealing with here, counsel. Did you ever pick up anything in her that would have indicated she had this kind of character, that she could plan a hit basically on the mother of her grandchildren? I mean, we have some context here. Her own son, who's in rehab, I didn't understand him to be in prison. I thought he was in rehab, says that she was threatening him and saying that he better put his name on the things that she tells him to. I mean, she sounds like a mob boss more than a grandmother. You didn't pick up any of that in her.
I did not. And the reason I did not is because there's an element that has not been considered here. The Kansas Department of the Protection of Children and the county sheriff in Hugoton, Kansas, conducted a 27-page review of the allegations that Mrs. Butler's 18-year-old half-brother had sexually violated not only the two children here, but his own brother, plus others.
Right.
That report exists. I can assure you it's on the prosecutor's desk and on whoever represents her now. That was a very serious allegation.
Sure.
And Mrs. Adams' position was that Mrs. Butler didn't believe that her brother could do that.
Right.
Even though the department found that he could. And so for her to have visitation without supervision was dangerous to the children. And the judge has already found that there was probable cause to believe that this boy was a sexual predator and had attacked her children. Now, her son, and let's face it, they're estranged. These two people, the mother and father, were never married.
Right.
They're marginal in the economy, although the son has tried to turn himself around.
So that's the father there, Wrangler Cole Rickman. This is what we hear about him all the time. He's in court-ordered rehab.
And the allegations, every allegation that could be made is theirs. But the fact is, I've read the report. I know what it says.
Right. I believe that. I believe that the allegations for probable cause, as we both know, you being a much more veteran, officer of the court than I am, but probable cause is a very low standard. Yes. It was early on in the review. But even if all the allegations were true, the idea that the rational remedy, counsel, is to plan a hit on the mother and the person who's there to provide guidance, absenting someone that you like, right? Because there was another woman who was supposed to be there that the grandmother allegedly told not to come, and then murder them and bury them doesn't seem to be the right remedy for the best interests of the child.
On their own property.
No, and that's the state's case.
This guy's fucked.
If what you just said is true,
it is.
Then we have a horrible homicide in which two people were ambushed that were coming to pick up one of them's child. And it's gothic. It's something out of the Bates Motel. And it's a terrible thing. Whoever is responsible for it, it is shocking. There's no.
This guy's. I got to stop it. This guy's making me ill.
There's no question about that.
I think that the most surprising thing to me, especially this, and then I'll let you go. And I appreciate your time, Mr. Jones, is that you could know somebody through the course of this and be completely shocked that she had this level of animus towards the mother. That you never saw any trace of that.
I did not. I saw eccentricity. I saw.
I think this man's full of shit. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. But I promised that I was going to play you that in the beginning of my opening, that I was going to play this attorney who previously represented her. And it just gives you an idea of how twisted and how this guy here was basically justifying and saying, well, I really don't think she did that. I think somebody else did it. Who did it? The boogeyman? So give me a break and look at Cuomo's face. This says it all right here. Look at his mug. He's just like, I can't even believe that I did this interview with this moron. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the birthday love. I appreciate you. I love you. And for the live viewers, you've been great. And the replay viewers and everybody that's a part of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, I love you guys. And I thank you for being here. Hopefully I'm here for another 30, 40, 50 years, giving you guys some content. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you to the moderators and all the folks who take care of this chat and make it classy. So thank you to all of the mods who are here for everyone and keeps everything flowing smoothly. I'll link in the description after about 10 or 15 minutes ways to support and buy those t-shirts to support the mom of Veronica, Butler, and Jilian Kelley. And I'm going to do myself. I'm going to go on and I'm going to purchase at least 3 or 4 of those shirts. And I'm going to wear one on a live stream. How about that? This is some of my merch right here, Justice Junkie. And it says Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. So let me push the mic away. Justice Junkie. And it's got a knife through it right here. And it says Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. This is a sweatshirt. I have t-shirts. I have hoodies. This one's just a regular sweatshirt. I've got dry fit shirts. Go over to my shop and shop some of the great merch that we have up there. So thank you all for being here. On behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, I want to wish everybody a great weekend coming up. Friday, I'm going to be down and out for my birthday. Just want to get, hold on, let me just get something here. All right, I want to just keep this about the victims. So Veronica, Butler, Jilian Kelley, may they continue to rest in peace, and their family. I send strength, prayers, and positive vibes. And for Cora Twombly's daughter, the 16-year-old, I send her strength, prayers, and positive vibes. I hope she stays safe and is able to come forward and have the strength to testify if need be at a trial, because that's what will happen. She will be called by the state to testify in a trial. So much love and respect from my house to yours. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for the super chats, the super love, and super thanks. You could do that afterwards. If you're watching the replay, you're always welcome to do that. I appreciate it. Never expected, never necessary. See you guys soon. Love and respect. Thank you.